And turning now to Storm Watch 12 meteorologist Josh Colbert this morning, looking out at some of those both of us panicking over. I don't have hair on mine.
It's just the winds.
We're hearing the winds all the way from in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Someone has a mic issue.
Yeah, I'll try to hit my mic pack a little bit. We'll see if we can just roll with the punches here. Yes.
Windy.
Winds, an issue this morning. We have a wind advisory, several of them in place for central Siskiyou County, for the west side and for the east side. Now for the west side, this runs until 10 this morning. For the east side, this runs until 4 p.m. this afternoon. So that kind of shows you the chronology of how things are going to go for today. So we're already seeing some of those wind gusts, of course, in the Rogue Valley, up in the Cascades, over on the east side along the coast, down in the Shasta Valley, and the biggest wind gusts continue to be down towards Weed, gusting out of the south and southwest, upwards of 50 miles per hour. So through this afternoon, again, well, for the west side through 10 this morning, then for the east side through 4 p.m. this afternoon. But here's some of those peak wind gusts we're expecting, with the Shasta Valley continuing to see some of the biggest wind gusts, upwards of 70 miles per hour. So if that comes to fruition, we could see some splotchy power outages down in Siskiyou County. We're not only tracking the winds for this morning, but also we're tracking a little bit of rain and snow, specifically down towards Mount Shasta City. Already seeing some slick spots on those roadways at California 89 and Interstate 5 in south central Siskiyou County. So you got to take it slow down there for this morning. Now, here's the good news. Things are going to start to taper off a little bit later today. So I'll show you the progression of that with Stormcast, and it's just going to be a little bit too dry for this system to sustain itself in terms of the rain and snow. So a little bit later today, we could have some spotty rain and snow showers, but I think most of us are going to be dry, and then all of us are going to be dry come time for midnight. But then we're tracking that next storm system into Saturday, and I think this model is being a little bit quick with it, but by the time we get to dinner time, maybe just a little bit before, I do think everything starts to become a lot more widespread. Rain and snow. Snow levels are going to start off around 5,500 feet right around this time frame, and then they're going to drop down after that. So as we head into the overnight hours into Sunday morning, there's going to be a lot more rain and a lot more snow. So let's take a look at some of the projected rainfall totals through Saturday night. And just keep in mind that we're going to have more rainfall throughout the day on Sunday. So this is not a complete picture of what's going to happen with that next storm system. This is kind of the best of both worlds. We're getting some rainfall totals from this storm system and some from the next storm system. So bottom line, over the next 48 hours, the Cascades, the Mount Shasta City area, and the coast will all receive upwards of ½ an inch to an inch of rain, with less impressive totals, much less impressive totals for the west side valleys and for the east side. Now, like I've already said, snow levels are going to start off around 5,500 feet for Saturday, then dropping down to 4,000 feet by the time we get to Sunday morning. And kind of went out of order, but for today, snow levels starting off around 3,500 feet and then raising up to 4,500 feet. So lots of peaks and valleys over the next 48 hours. So the bottom line is that we're going to see probably the most impressive snowfall totals down in the Mount Shasta City region, also up in the Cascades, but we're just going to measure the snow in inches, probably less than ½ foot of snow for both of those areas. So for today, we're going to see widespread rain and snow, although all of it's going to start to taper off a little bit later in the day. Winds will start to back off a little bit later in the day. That process will continue overnight, and because we'll still have a little bit in the way of winds and some cloud coverage, our overnight lows are going to be pretty mild, especially when you compare it to earlier this week. So travel is going to be a little bit dicey today, especially down in south central Siskiyou County, and then roadways are going to improve into Saturday, but then that next storm system will make roadways probably even worse into Sunday than into Monday as well. So we're tracking a lot of active weather, a lot of different threats over the next 48 to 72 hours. So very quickly now, here's your 7-day forecast for the coast. Lots of rain and winds over the next 3 to 4 days. And then for Siskiyou County, we're going to see those snow impacts mainly in south central Siskiyou County for this morning. The snow levels will raise up, then come back down. So again, a couple different periods of some dicey travel. For the east side, maybe just a smattering of snow for this storm system, but probably some bigger snow impacts for that next storm system. And hopefully we're going to add to the snowpack over the next 48 to 72 hours in the Cascades and in the Siskiyous, because the snowpack has been dwindling down over the past couple of weeks. And then for the Rogue Valley, chance of showers today, breezy, calming out, I guess drying out would be the better phrase for Saturday, and then we will see some more showers likely for Sunday.
So at least in the Rogue Valley, is it going to be the case today where we kind of see temperatures staying where they're at now because of the winds?
Yeah, I don't think temperatures are going to be that big of an issue at all today. The cloud coverage, the rain, and also, like you said, the winds, that's going to kind of keep things turbulent in the low levels of the atmosphere. So that means that things are going to stay pretty mild.
Okay, well, I mean, probably don't want to go outside with these winds, but it does feel nice when you go outside.
I'd say so. I walked out the door this morning and I let out an audible, whoo.
Yeah, it was like a nice little hug. It was kind of
Yeah,
warm. Yeah,
yeah.
it was good stuff. Okay, well, thank you, Josh.
Of course.